Let's get up off your chairs. Let's get out the bed. Yes. Yes, indeed. What's up, nation? Let's get this thing going one way or another. I really appreciate everybody for being in the mix. It is what it is. I really do. Appreciate you guys for supporting the channel, supporting the page, getting things going in the right direction. It's always a plus. It's always a pleasure for us to talk about the Cowboys each and every last day. Things have changed, right? Since the last time we was here, we was not on top, right? NFC East, 6-5. We in this thing now. We control our own destination. The main goal for right now is to get into the dance. And once you get into the dance, then oh no, you will never know what can happen. But we got to first get there. We got to first get into this thing, man. 6-5. We are 6-5. For those who remember when we was 3-5, right? It's a journey. And I like this aspect of it. I like the fact that we collectively can get together, no matter what it can be, and still show our support for this team. Now, it may be a few that we have to win over. It may be a few that we have to tell them, like, hey, look here, continue to fight. Do not fold up like weak tents. And shout out to my guy, Vach Lombardi. Shout out to Big Game James, DDP, Silver and Blue Nation, Mark Holmes. I mean, it's just all these things coming together as far as this channel, as far as everything that we do. We got tons and tons of things that we're going to push out in the following days, and this thing can get just like crazy. I always like to give a first shout out to the first person to be in the chat box, and it's actually Deion Sanders. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for tuning in to the nation. Flex Row Records, shout out to you, man. Second place, gotta step it up just a little bit. Huggy, what's good with you, man? Long time follower. Thank you for tuning in as well. Who else we got? Yes Wants 1100. Appreciate you, man. TL White, what's good with you? Gladiators. Yes, Cowboys do equal gladiators. We collectively, we got to continue to fight. We got to continue to push this thing together, and it will happen. Look, guys, look, this is the thing right here. I said all off season. We must not just finish the fight, but we must start the fight. And when watching this team and looking through all of the ups and downs, don't it feel good for those who stuck with this team even when we at our lowest, right? And yes, we can have our thoughts about this team, especially Coach Garrett and Coach Lanahan. We can have our reservations on those guys as well as with Dak Prescott. But it's for those. Salute to you, Frisco. Yes, it's for those that's around here. We got to call a spade because they definitely would do it when we not winning, right? So we got to find the outliers. We got to go out there and find the guys that that sully and denigrate our team. And we got to really put them on the forefront. It is what it is. We got to figure them out and say, okay, where you at now? Of course, we only 6-5. Yes, we just above 500. But this is the thing now. We got to hold everybody accountable because at this moment, the pressure need to be released, and then also we need to elevate. I'm talking about elevate those who are doing their job. Amari Cooper, for those who out there said, well, hey, we don't need we losing the first round draft pick. We don't want to let this guy be on this team, and it's just going to be a wasteful pick. Those sorts of things. When I'm telling everybody, look, now you got Amari Cooper. What's going to happen when you get Amari Cooper out there? Roll coverage. Yes, he demands the double coverage. If not, he demands the safety to cheat to his side. And then what happens when that happens? Ezekiel Elliott happens. And he see those holes. I wish he can hit those creases a little bit faster when he played against the team, I guess, yesterday now because it's 1 o'clock where I'm at. But now, we see those holes opening up for Ezekiel Elliott. And then let me just talk about Dak Prescott for a second. This is the thing with Dak Prescott. Yes, he's still developing. And a lot of people want Dak Prescott to be on the level of a Patrick Mahomes right now. Or they want him to be on the level, and I do know that Patrick Mahomes is a year younger or what have you in the NFL versus the Dak Prescott. But this is the thing, collectively, Patrick Mahomes, first-round draft pick. Dak Prescott, not. You know what I mean? He's a fourth-round draft pick, and we'll be going over this over and over again. It's the intangibles. For those who out there who's calling out the fact that we should go get Ryan Fitzpatrick. Ryan Fitzpatrick don't win you this game today or yesterday. Ryan Fitzpatrick don't win you the game last week. The intangibles, the things that you just don't see. Of course, we can see with our natural eyes, and we can see a quarterback with a better passer of the ball, like for example, Matthew Stafford. Better passer of the ball, better than Dak Prescott, passer of the ball, but he do not possess the intangibles. I can't beat this home enough. Dak Prescott, if he can't win it with his arms, he can definitely win it with his legs. And we saw that during the red zone, and we can see glimpses of it if the coaching staff can reel home and call plays that's designed to help Dak Prescott out. That's what we need to do. But at the end of the day, yes, would you want to see him launch the ball down the field better? Yes, that's what we all want. We all want that. But for to give up on the guy, but to say that the man is trash and we can't win with the guy, I posted a stat. It was like a little graphic card. And it was one of those things where I got a lot of hate mail off of. And most of it directed from the Cowboys Nation. They said, how dare you have the fortitude of your mind. How dare you put this out there? How dare you? Because they're only looking at one side of the thing. Say you comparing Dak Prescott to Tom Brady. They said that, right? And I'm just reposting the stat that was out there that was sent to me. It says that in 2016 to now, Dak Prescott had 27 wins. The other guy that was on that list was Drew Brees. He had 27 wins. I think that I guess it was a quarterback that's above him. I think Ben Roethlisberger had like 28 or 29 or something like that. And who's the other guy? Tom Brady. He had like 31 wins, but Dak Prescott was in the same window of wins since 2016, and of course it's 2018 now. But they're saying like, look, Law, look, Law, get out of the past. And I'm sitting there like, bro, what are you talking about? The only way we can rate this team if you can look at the past to see where you're going to go at for the future. You got to understand the past to know your future, right? So all I'm doing is putting and reposting the picture out there. And they say, how dare you have the balls and the fortitude to put out there Dak Prescott comparable to a Drew Brees or comparable to a Ben Roethlisberger or comparable to a Tom Brady. And I said, these are not my numbers. These are just facts. When opinions becomes facts, there's no argument. they become obsolete. It's just facts. Now, also I put out there, and I wish I just had the ability to snap my hand and have it on the graphic board for you guys. I put out there, and these not my stats. The comparables of Dak Prescott and Tom Brady. Not saying that they are the same guy, but one can argue the fact that Tom Brady, for his first 3 Super Bowls, for his first 3 or 4 years, or what have you, whatever it may be, he was nothing more than a glorified bus driver. If you think I'm lying, go look at his first Super Bowl numbers. I don't think the guy, he threw over 200 yards. I think it was like 152 yards. But they had a seasoned coach. Decent running game. Always top 5 or top 10 defense. That seasoned coach was able to corral and say, hey, I want you to do just enough to not lose us the game. And they was able to have the fortitude and the knowledge enough to say, we're going to run this rock. Ain't this right? Tom Reedy, what's good, man? Thank you for tuning in to the Nation, man. Dollar Ninja, Savage Time, appreciate you. Kite, appreciate you for tuning in. Jordan K, yeah, it's time to run away. Yes, we must run away. And then on top of that, we made the Redskins know that we are the flavor. We are the real deal, Holyfield. We putting it down. And yes, Amari Cooper, Amari Cooper was worth every penny for that first round draft pick for next year. And hey, Who is for us to say that maybe the Cowboys might already have a contingency plan to move back into the first round to get a said player that we probably need? Yes, indeed, it is possible, Deion Sanders. Appreciate you for tuning in to the nation. Tiny, no brain. What's good, man? Cowboys going to the playoffs. This was a big win. Yes, I agree 1,000,000%. This was a big win, but now we got to stack it even more. Look, this is the thing. When we play against the Saints next week, if we can just be competitive, if we can just be in the mix, if we can just give them the best punch or the best throw that we have, then maybe we can hit them with the blind side and they sit there and say to themselves, man, this Cowboys defense is for real. My thing is right now, you got to be able to. Cheeto Woozier got to get his head around to the ball. And then when the ball hits your hands, you got to really pluck it in, because this is the thing. You do not get third and fourth chances with Drew Brees. He's a natural thrower of the ball. He's very, very thorough. And we cannot sit back and sit there and say to ourselves, he's going to eventually give us one. No. There's no give me with Drew Brees out there. They got an explosive offense. They got run power. They got a seasoned coach. They got the ability to put up points just like this. So with all of the hiccups that we might have against Colt McCoy, that's not going to happen with Drew Brees. And then on top of that, yes, this is a home game for us, but we still must be able to just continue. I'm telling you guys, we must continue to fight. That's what we need to do. Yeah, shout out to you, Flex Row. What's good with you? Not Death Row, but Flex Row. Appreciate you, man. Savage Time. I need to see more takeaways like the good old days. Yeah, I mean, we saw a little few today. Shout out to Xavier Woods. And shout out to AB, right? Anthony Brown, our version of AB on the defensive side. Hey, he got an interception. He had a sack. Didn't he? Didn't he have one of those type of games? It was crazy. And I think that he could have had 2 interceptions with one sack. That would have been nice on his resume. It would have been nice. Fleming played okay. Yes. This is the thing. So next week, we don't play a stout defensive front four like we did today. That's a good thing. But the bad thing is they got a guy named Cameron Jordan who's fast, who can bend and get out to the edge. So what we have to do, we have to either attack them, get upfield. Their linebacker core is not like the team that we just played. And then on top of that, I believe we can really run on them. I think that the Saints really, just to be honest with you, I don't think they ever faced a team with this type of power of running game. So with that being said, this should be like a bust 'em up game. And then on top of that, I think the Redskins, the difference between the Cowboys and the Redskins schedule for the remainder of the games of the year, they got to have the meat of their schedule now. We getting off the meat of our schedule. We planning in those fillers games. Of course, we got the filler of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They kind of like Jackal Hyde, the up and down type of team. And then on top of that, I think we play the Colts. They're sporadic at times. So, but they're a team that plays hard. The Colts remind me of the Cowboys in certain factors, And then on top of that, and then, of course, their quarterback gets surpassed, because he's first-round draft pick, and Andrew Luck, and everybody loves him. They have strong, good thoughts of him, and they just give the guy a pass. They say, okay, he just had surgery, and then his first few years, he went like 11-5, and whole bunch of good stuff. And then on top of that, I think that we play the Eagles at our home, and it's going to be nice though. Sports Guru 80, what's good with you, man? Boy, that Lawrence is a monster. Yeah, D-Law is a monster. We're going to have to figure out a way to pay that guy. Pay the man. That's what we got to. You got to pay the man to be the man. You got to get out there and figure out a way to put money out there on the turf. We must continue. We must continue to figure out something. Yes, indeed. Colts have won 4 of 5 in a row. This is from Jordan K. Yes, the Colts won. Like I said, they're similar in certain factions. But we will see when we face them. Is it a home game or in a away game for us when we play the Colts? Let me know. But it's I guess it's not a big deal for me because it's both inside. So ask Josh Norman how he feels about Amari Cooper. I need to go listen to their walk off and see how they felt. I think that he was going into like a tirade of upset about the game or what have you. I forgot we're live on Periscope too, man. Kenneth, what's going on with you, man? Appreciate you, man. I see you. D-Law will be paid. Yes, Duke, what's going on, man? Shout out to you as well on the Periscope. D-Law will get paid. What are we willing to pay D-Law? Pay the man, right? What are we willing to pay this guy? Put that down in the chat box, man. It's an away game for us, a sports guru says. Okay. So we on the road. I mean, if this team continue to figure out the little small nuances and what works for Cooper and what works for Dak Prescott to Cooper, man, we're seeing a team in the making of just catching fire towards the latter part of the year. I told everybody in 2016, we got kind of hot too soon. I'd rather for us to get hot mid-season or in the latter part. So if we can continue to be hot now, oh my goodness. It's just this defense sometimes and the offense, the way these play callers are called sometimes, it makes me kind of wonder. It still have us always at the edge of our seat because we always be wondering to ourselves. I said it during the game when I was trying to go live or what have you during the game. I was saying that we didn't really start revving up our offense until the score was like 13-10. Or something like that, or 13-7. I think it was 13-10. That's when we really said, okay, let me turn over. Let me look at this playbook. Let me turn to this. I'm going to pull out the playbook, and I'm going to turn to this page. Like, oh, my goodness page. And that's what they did. And that's my only reservation. I think that this coaching staff got to really just rev it up. Always keep the pressure on. Keep the pressure on. Don't. Look, next week, we're going to see a coach that say, hey, I don't give a. I don't give a. You know what I mean? That coach, he's really going to try to embarrass. His name of the game is trying to embarrass you. Yes. Yes. What is it? Outweighed Josh Norman. What's up, man, on my Periscope, man? Appreciate you for tuning in to the Nation Sports Guru. What you got over here? Let me see what you're talking about. That would be a good game. Yes, I like peaking. I don't like peaking too early. Yes, you're right. I'm not saying that we're going to win the Super Bowl or anything, but I'm saying that it's good to be hot towards the latter part of it. And then on top of that, for the glory and the beauty and the grace for this beautiful team, it's always best for us not to have a bye week for some strange reason going into the playoff. If you guys know what I mean, it's not good for this team. So the only team that a lot of people were saying, and Stephen A. Smiths of the world, he was saying that this Philadelphia Eagles still have a chance to turn things around. They 4-6. And then I heard somebody saying that the Giants are going to run the table and they're going to be 9-7. They're going to get to the playoffs. Man, I got some land on the moon for sale if anybody believe that. But, anybody willing to buy and purchase? Because I will sell you land on the moon if that happened. But running the table, we'll see, though. We will soon, or we shall soon see. All right, so Savage Time says $13 million for 5 years. Got to save some money. I don't know. What do you guys think? There's no way that D-Law is going to go for 13. If we're talking about D-Law, Savage Time, appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in to the Nation. But there's no way that I really think that they're going to allow D-Law $13 million. His agency is not going to do that. I don't think that's going to happen. But that $13 million that's stretched out for 5 years, maybe. It's all about the guaranteed money and out of that contract. And I think that whatever his franchise tag is, he will at least want something around that area. We'll see, though. Yes, we shall soon see. Jordan K., when we get ahead, we go into kill the clock mode until the coaching staff feel pressure again. You know what? I'm going to really look into that because I believe, Jordan K., you got a strong point about that. it seems like, man, when we're behind, well, like when we're 13-10, I said, watch how this offense respond, and then all of a sudden this guy named Amari Cooper, bam. But in the offense, the tempo, everybody was like, okay, let's go ahead and try to get this dub. Kenneth Lott said, who get $13 million a year? They talking about D-Law. I think D-Law wanted just, you see, yeah. So produced by Jay, man, he says 19 million is his tag. So I don't think that you can go that low below that, I meant to say. So I don't know. I don't know how this thing is really going to look far as D-Law, but I'm saying to myself, 17 million a year for 4 years is from Flex Row. He gets 40 to 60 guaranteed. Kenneth Lott. My only thing is with Cowboys, when we pay our guys, they just disappear outside of the offensive linemen, regardless of on the plate. Let's look at everything, and I'm gonna try to go in like reverse order. We're just gonna go in the order that I can remember. When we paid Dez, all of a sudden he snapped up his foot. When we paid Romo. I'm just going back. I don't have no specific order. when we paid Romo, I think that was the year he broke his pinky. He broke something and he couldn't play the entire year. When we went out and paid Brandon Yu's car, we already know his story, right? He just been an average subpar guy. And then when we paid Miles Austin, all of a sudden his hamstring just snapped up on him. Name me another guy that we paid that all of a sudden they just kind of folded up. We can go way back. T.O. No, that was before that. It's just crazy, man. When we pay our guys, it's just always some freakish stuff happen. So when we pay D-Law, all I want to happen is, man, if he can reverse this little crazy situation with injury. And I hate to let me knock on some wood around here because I hate to say that, but that's just how it goes, man. Brandon Carr, yes. Miles Austin, yes. Anybody that we paid, it just seemed like it just. Now Tony Romo battled back, but it was like one of those things. Like each and every year it was something, and then we didn't have enough money to move it around to help this thing out collectively. So it was at this point. We were still paying off those big contracts that we had suffered from before. So we paid Romo all that money. We couldn't get him an offensive line, and then on top of that, we couldn't get him no defensive help as well. So we was like stuck in purgatory. We had this quarterback when we paying all this money to, but we had nobody to put around him, or no money to influence those free agency people, because we made some crazy bonehead decisions by paying Brandon Carr $50 million guaranteed. Yeah, Marion the Barbarian. When we paid Marion Barbarian, he just disappeared completely. When we paid Orlando McClain, yes. Terrence Newman, yes. You guys are bringing it back to me now. Yeah, shout out to you. Yes, Wanth 1100. Yes. And guy with D face. Yeah, appreciate you, man. Roy Williams, yes, wide receiver. When we pay those guys, man, it's crazy, man, what happened. Jones, the safety. I don't know. We got to figure out something to reverse this little crazy deal that when we pay guys, they disappear. It's crazy. It's crazy. Look, we can just go back and forth on the guys that we pay, and all of a sudden when we pay them, they just disappear. And it's crazy. Law of Dak keep his passing numbers up, touchdowns. Watch out. Yeah, the more, see, this is the conundrum. The more we win, I guess the higher the guaranteed money would be for, or the difference of the contract will be for Dak Prescott, whether it's going to be $20 million or $25 million. I do know that we're going to get a lot of hate mail for saying this. You pay Dak Prescott $20 to $25 million, and you got D-Law sitting there and you're paying him $16, $17 million. Where is this money going to go? How are we going to implement this money to help this team out? It would be nice, but this is the thing. This is not Dak Prescott first. This is Dak Prescott first contract. It would be nice if he take a hometown discount like the Tom Brady. But Tom Brady, he's already on the latter part of his career. He already got I guess a wife that makes $1 billion, whatever it may be. And then on top of that, he sells, got endorsement deals. He got a whole bunch of stuff. I think that the Patriots figure out a way to finagle the system to pay him just low money and pay him on the side, pay him under the table. I think they got something like that going on. And then on top of that, they can bring in some crazy, nasty free agencies out there, and they can help out the team. Because the salary cap is just trash to me. I just feel like, hell, let your money be your money. However you feel like you should pay. If you want to pay a player $60 million and then cut them the next year, that should be the deal. But the salary cap is put into place so that smaller market teams, I understand, so the football league there can be parity amongst football teams. Just like this team right now that we're going to play next week. And most of the teams are going to play next year too. But just like the team we're going to play next week, the Saints would be trash right now if it wasn't for the salary cap. They would be trash. Jerry Jones would figure out a way to get all of the star key players on his team, and the Saints, the smaller market, where they don't have a fan base like the Cowboys Nation. But shout out to the Saints, they deep in the South. But you know what I'm talking about as far as revenue dollars and things like that. They can barely keep their stadium up down there in the Superdome. But you're talking about the Saints market versus the Cowboys market is not something that you can compare. So what happened here with the salary cap era or the salary cap situation, it makes every team equal, supposedly. The only conundrum or the only team that figure out a way to beat that thing would be the Patriots. You know, they're because the league is designed for a team not to continue to go to the playoffs, continue to go to the Super Bowl, continue to go to the Super Bowl. But the Patriots figure out a way, and that's paying probably Tom Brady under the table. That's just how it is. But we go around and you got the Cincinnati Bengals fans, the Miami Dolphins fans, the Jaguar fans, and who else got a smaller market? North Carolina. All these teams would be struggling if it wasn't for the mega teams that can draw those big dollars, like the Cowboys, the Giants, the teams that can bring in the revenue that, regardless of the record, people continue to buy merchandise and continue to buy tickets and things like that. So it is what it is. Shout out to you, Robert. Thank you for tuning in to the Periscope. Jordan K. This whole thing, we lose, Dak throws too much, is BS. Dak throws over 30 passes in each and every last 3 games. Yeah, I feel what you're saying, Jordan K. Byron Jones is a beast too. Flex roll? Yes. Yeah, 2 career interceptions had taken at hometown. Yeah. He said Flex Roll said Byron Jones must take a hometown discount. That's the only way this team can just go far. If we can find a few other guys that can just take some hometown discounts. It just sounds crass, but that's the only way. That's just the only way. I think Tank will be a 4-year, $85 million with $60 million guaranteed. Whew. Sports Guru, man, $60 million guaranteed. Ooh. 4 years though. Yeah, that's the price we have to pay. The other part of it, before I went on this long little talk, when I was talking about the conundrum, the more we win, the more you got to really figure out a way. Do you pay Dak Prescott 20 to 25 million or beyond? Will be do you keep Jason Garrett? Would Jason Garrett, if we win a playoff game, would that keep him in for another, being a coaching staff for another year? We got to look at everything. So the more we win, the more we keep Jason Garrett. And not saying that Jason Garrett is trash or anything, but that's just how it goes for right now. So we really have to look at it from that aspect. Sports Guru say you cannot pay everyone. You're right. It's got. That's why the draft is so important. That's why the young guys got to figure out a way to step it up. But when you pay the guy that's supposed to get paid instead of trying to finagle it and trade him, it gets a problem. Like, it would have been nice, let's say for instance in a different world, right? Instead of cutting Dez Bryant, instead of releasing Dez Bryant, it would have been nice to dangle the carrot in front of the Saints. And let's say if we kept Dez Bryant on the team and we dangled that carrot in front of the Saints, and we would have got like a 2 first-round draft picks, or a first and a third, or a third-round draft pick from Dez Bryant to the Saints, or in a la trade or what have you, getting some valuable resources, because that's what good teams do. And I'm not saying that we should just went out there and traded Dez Bryant, but for to cut him and get nothing but salary cap money is hard, and you got to figure out a way. That's the only part that one can argue with this staff that we've been missing. We get players, we don't figure out a way to get resources from them. Like, for example, it's better to trade a guy 2 years too soon than 2 years too late, basically. And just like Murray, when we got rid of Murray, we didn't get nothing in return. We just cut him. Just like Ron Leary, we didn't get nothing in return. We just cut him. So that's our only weaknesses that I'm looking at as far as the coaching staff. Well, not the coaching staff. I guess we can call it general manager staff. We don't know how to mask it. We don't know how to sell our players to other teams to get some type of resources in return. And the teams that kind of make those moves and have a Ken Hamlin was another guy, man. You guys are bringing up some facts, man. I appreciate you, man. Ken Hamlin was another guy that we paid that just went to trash. Edward, appreciate you, man. That's our weak point with the general manager, and I love Jerry Jones and Will McClay, and I don't know what the longitude and latitude Will McClay got out there, and on top of that, I really don't know how those guys will and deal, but we just fell. Cowboys, this is what we do. Is this a known trend? We will cut a guy and they'll go to another team instead of trading the guy and getting resources from that. Like Anthony Hitchens. I think that we should have traded him to another team, right? Instead of just saying, okay, we're going to release him. That means that we held on to that asset too long. Meaning that we should have traded him like in 2000, whatever this last year. We should have figured out a way to trade him, get some resources with that, stack up our picks, get a second or third round draft pick for him, and trade him to the Kansas City Chiefs or trade him to the Indianapolis Colts, wherever Hitchens is at. And let me know where Anthony Hitchens is at. I don't know what team he's playing on. But we end up, I guess, letting them walk in free agency and not getting anything but these compensatory picks, which is cool, but that's not the main caveat that we should be getting. Unfortunately, Dez wasn't going to command anything over a third-round draft pick. This is from Sports Guru 80. Yes, I agree, but somehow remember that old statement that I just said: trade a player 2 years too soon versus 2 years too late. It would just be like and I hate to use the Patriots, keep going back to now I'm gonna go back over here before anybody say Samelo Acosta. Will McClay is doing a good job on my Periscope. I'm not trashing Will McClay. He's doing a great job. I'm just saying that within our organization, within our structure, if I can point out one thing that we just not just doing well at, will be trading players. We don't do a good combination of trading players for assets. We got rid of Ryan Switz, right, for a guy that's not even on our team at this point. I think that we should figure out a way to get resources for resources. Not saying that we get a resource and then we cut the guy that we got the resources from, because that's just not a good trading philosophy to me. And, I think that Ryan Switz was a third. What round? Appreciate the Sports Guru. Man, you the real Sports Guru, fam. He says Kansas City Chiefs and Jared. Yeah, appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in to the nation, Jared. And Savage Time. Okay, I see you down. You put KC too. So I was going to the Ryan Switz situation. He was a third round draft pick, or was he a fourth? I think that we should trade for a trade, We didn't get that back, and we didn't get those marginal returns back on that deal. We end up cutting the guy for that Raiders deal that we got from him. So it wasn't a good deal. It wasn't a good deal altogether collectively. So Savage Time said Ryan Switz was a third round draft pick. So I mean, we didn't finesse that deal good enough. Hitchens was balling for the Chiefs. Man, I have to go back and look at it, man. I have to go back and watch Kansas City Chiefs tape. But if Hitchens is balling, so that's going to give us a 4th round compensatory pick, I believe. But I think that we should have willed and dealed him a little bit and get something like valuable from him. Just that's the bottom line. When they was talking about his skill sets and things like that, I think that the way of Hitchens is balling now, we could have strongly got a 2nd or 3rd round draft pick for Hitchens. If we knew how to finesse it, if we knew how to just trade, if we know how to will and deal with teams, and I think that it would have been better. DJ Cobb, what's good, man, bro? I never wanted to see Beasley returning out again. You talking about Cole Beasley? Yeah, Jahad Ward. Yeah, Jordan K. Yeah, that was Ryan Switzer for Jahad Ward. He's a 4th, not a 3rd. So Jahad Ward was a 4th round. Switzer was a 4th round draft pick. Okay, cool. Appreciate it. You guys on the money, man. You guys on the money. I forget which round they were in. You know, my memory is not that sharp at 1:43 in the morning. Shout out to those who out there Black Friday shopping out there waiting in those lines. Yeah, Danny Amendola. We screwed the pooch on that. So I mean, we gotta work on now player evaluation. We doing a great job. Will McClay's doing a great job. Finding the undrafted guy and the late round draft pick guy, we doing a decent job with that. We just got to figure out a way that when those players start peaking a little bit, it's not to fall too much in love with those players and get rid of and trade them. Just like this. And we can see it coming already. Oh, my goodness, we can see it coming. All right, for those who are in the chat box, and let's just flip it, and I'm going to put the Patriots back on the map, right? If Terrence Williams played for the Patriots, do you think that they would have traded him by now? They would have been trading him by now, right? Remember, it's best to trade a player 2 years too soon versus 2 years too late. So what are we going to do with Terrence Williams? And I'm bringing up Terrence Williams because this is something that we can relate to. We already know that we're going to cut Terrence Williams. That's just the bottom line. It's just a writing on the wall. Shout out to Terrence Williams. I wish him nothing but the best. I think that if he do decide to come back and blow up and ball up, that will be a mystery to me. But guys, that's in the chat box. This is interesting. I want to know what you guys think the Cowboys Nation is going to do with Terrence Williams. Are they just going to cut him when we get nothing in return? That was just the best example I can use right now. Yeah. I mean, if I believe that if Terrence Williams was on the Patriots roster and he was going through all of this situation that he went through with the Cowboys, the Patriots would have still figured out a way to get a 3rd round draft pick out of him or a 4th round draft pick from him instead of nothing, because all we're going to do is cut him. Yes. He's Savage Time said they're going to cut him and then they're going to sign Cooper to a big deal. Yeah, basically, yeah. Trade the body catcher. See, right now it's too late to trade. Remember, I said it's best to trade a player 2 years too soon versus 2 years too late. I think the highest market value of Terrence Williams would have been around 2015, right, going right into that season. It could have been like one of those situations right when you paid Dez Bryant to figure out a way to move Terrence Williams. You would have been like, hey, T. Will, I appreciate your services. You've been a wonderful asset to this team. We love your services out here. You showing that you are a solid number 2. But unfortunately, right now, the Miami Dolphins need a wide receiver. And we just traded you to the Miami Dolphins for a 2nd round draft pick. Or we traded you to the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm just throwing out teams. I don't know teams that would need a solid 2 at the time. It could have been the Baltimore Ravens at that time. It could be anybody. But what we do, just like Ron Leary, I was going back and forth with Mike Fisher. I remember I said, Mike Fisher, you do not settle for this because They're going to end up letting Ron Leary go to another team, just walk into another team and not getting nothing in return. I think it was like another guy. Ron Leary's situation was very similar to at the time, it was very similar to David Irvin, We already know, everybody in Cowboys Nation world know that David Irvin, either we're going to cut him and we're not going to trade him. It's just the bottom line. Should we re-sign David Irvin for another year? Let me know in the chat box. Let me know how this thing going to go from here. Okay. Dak don't suck. This is from Melto. Yeah, shout out to you, Melto. I like Noah Brown. Hey, Noah Brown did step it up. He did step it up. Yes. Bell is better. Yeah, Ron Leary is missed. This is from Tyrus. Yes, Ron Leary is missed. We should have kept Leary. Yeah. Bell is stupid. You talking about Le'Veon Bell? Bell's situation, he was looking for guaranteed money. He saw what Gurley was getting. He saw what the fact what happened to Ryan Shazier. I think I said this man's name right. He saw how he folded up and not able to walk again. So he's looking at it like, hey, I play for this organization. I saw what they did to Ryan Shazier, and I don't want to be a guy that don't have that guaranteed money, and somehow I break my back and I'll be limping around as well. So I want the guaranteed money, and if they don't want to pay me, then I'm sitting out, and screw those who say I should be out there. Running back situations, I think the average running back is 3 years, and the way running back situation is now in the NFL, Ezekiel Elliott may be looking at the same thing. I hate to say this, but Zeke calls less. The good thing about Ezekiel Elliott, we got the 5th-year option for him. But when they get time to pay the man, we're going to have a strong conversation internally with ourselves. Bitcoin, shout out to you, man. Appreciate you. And thank you for tuning in this early in the morning talk, right? Victory Friday, right? Well, I don't know, man. I'll wait 2 years and then take Bell now. I don't know, man. Bell going to want the Gurley's deal. Do anybody have the Gurley's guaranteed money in front of them? So you will have to ultimately pay Le'Veon Bell or match, and then they probably have some type of ego deal. He might want more than what Gurley is doing. They're getting paid for. So let me know what Gurley guaranteed is. I think Gurley is like 40, 50 million guaranteed. We don't have that much longitude or latitude to put a Le'Veon Bell. Then on top of that, I think Le'Veon Bell has like off the field issues with the weed and stuff like that. You bring that to the table. Oh yeah, flex roll, man. So you're not late for you. Okay, shout out to you. Trade Lee for a third. The only way you can move Sean Lee at this point would have been before 2016. And then you would have saw Sean Lee have that like massive explosive game from 2016 for another team, and we'd have been like, oh no, but we got to stop falling in love with players. But we don't do that. Jerry Jones don't do that as well. So Sean Lee is two years too late. It's 2 years too late. Law, what do you think we should draft, a tight end or a safety? This is my thing, Ace. A tight end, drafting one right now, unless he's like just nightmares, like explosive, like he can just be one of those like crazy Superman built type of tight end in the draft. And I don't know, it's too soon for me to look at draft. You guys are gonna have to reach out to Vosh Lombardi for that. But I would rather for this team to go out there and get a veteran tight end. So Gurley, Sports Guru said Gurley got 50 million guaranteed. Oh my God. So I think that Le'Veon Bell want 52 million guaranteed, they got that ego deal going on. So Superman tight end goes in the first round. Yeah, and we don't have first round draft picks. So the only way we can get a veteran type, the only way we can get this team to be explosive in the middle of the field, where we were lacking right now, is to go out there and get a veteran tight end. Green Bay Packers did it. The Saints, one can argue The Saints without a tight end are 79, 79, 79. You know what I mean? 79. Now they got a tight end. You can see them moving the ball down the field. Watson for the Saints is a tremendous, good, savvy veteran tight end. And then also we can look at the Patriots without their tight ends, Grunks, or without going out there and grabbing another guy like they did the previous year. They look very suspect. When they can't really line up in 12 and 11 personnel without their tight end. A tight end is the third hardest position to learn in the NFL. So for this team to really, if this team really believes in Dak Prescott, then they'll get him a tight end. If this team really want a good, decent quarterback to just be able to grow, the tight end is always the quarterback best friend. Think about it. A guy that can run in and out of his routes, explosive, can get to the point of the ball, 6'5", 6'5" or better. Tight ends. Hybrid wide receivers, this big, burly, tall, rangy guys. Think about this. I was talking about I was talking to one of my talking some football. My brother loved the Eagles. I call them the She-Eagles, the filthy, but he loves them. And I was telling him about his team. I was just schooling him. I said, look, the Eagles last year, what made them such a great team was nothing that Carson Wentz was doing collectively, all in all collective, Carson Wentz. It was a whole team effort, meaning that they were second or third overall in rushing the ball, running the ball. And the safety valve was Zach Ertz. And we saw a little bit of that when he came into this game in the first few games. We saw that, okay, maybe the Eagles are turning the corner. But the other conundrum was this guy named Trey Burton or Boston, or Trey Burton, I believe that's his name. 6'7" guy. He was the guy that was kind of sort of like how we use Cole Beasley, but he was a tight end. In and out of his breaks, can take the top off a little bit off the defense in the inside seam versus the safeties. He was the guy that opened that middle of the field up. And then on top of that, you had the LeGarrette Blount, the guy that was like the burly running back. And then the change of pace was Ajayi and this other guy, Sproles, but it was another smaller guy. I can't remember his name. I don't follow the Eagles like that all the way. But I just know the numbers, 30, whatever this guy was named, Smallwood or something like that. They had those combination of different running backs and variations of tight ends, and that what helped them out. The middle of the field was always open, and then occasionally he hit up Alshon Jeffries and the other guy, Nelson Aguilar. But none of those guys got over 1,000 yards. The interior of that offense was everything for them last year. So the tight end is always the young quarterback best friend. At this point, Carson Wentz can close his eyes and threw to his tight ends last year because they had that chemistry. But when they got rid of Trey, it hurt them. It hurt them real bad, man. It did. Shout out to you guys, man. Let me see who else we got over here, man. Appreciate you guys. Viksek. I can't say your name all the way. That's on the Periscope, man. Appreciate you. Law, we have Cooper and Rico. Use them and let Dak fill in the ball. Yeah, this is the thing. Remember, like I said, the tight end is like the third hardest position to learn. Rico, as much as we love him, he's still a developing guy. He's still learning. And maybe if he can go to another team where they can really develop a tight end in certain factors, we can see him blossom. But who knows his commitment? The guy got caught with some weed and stuff like that during the offseason. I'm not trying to throw him under the bus because it could have been something that they swept under the rug. But I don't know if his focus is all the way there. There's so many big question marks on Rico, his commitment level and things like that. And then on top of that, there's still people saying that he don't know the entire playbook. So that's just how it goes. That's why you see the Swains of the world, the Jarwins of the world, and the other rookie guy that we got out there. And it could be one of those things where Schultz, year 3, not even next year, we see like, oh, okay, look at that guy right there, the Schultz guy, So it just takes time. So that's why I'm leaning, to me personally, because we don't have a first-round draft pick next year, and I'll be damned if we use the second-round draft pick that high to go draft a tight end at that point, because there's going to be another developmental guy that we go out there and we go grab us a veteran tight end, whoever it may be. Taco is nowhere near Randy. Oh yeah, you talking about Randy Gregory? Yeah, so that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up. Who said that right here? Let me see if I can find your name. Incognito, man. Appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. Hey, that's one of my mods, man. Appreciate you, man. Thank you always. Let me see. I forgot who said it, man. Just re-put it back there again. You said Taco is no near Randy Gregory. It goes back to our philosophy of talking about trading the guy two years too soon versus 2 years too late. So this is what we need to do, guys. We really need to figure out a way to either, okay, we good at that side of the football because we drafted a guy, Dorrance Armstrong. We got Randy Gregory looking like he's a world class out there. But Taco, we have yet to see that little spark from Taco. Will it be nice for us to figure out a way to finagle a trade for Taco? A deal with Taco to another team. You know, selling tacos. Cowboys out here selling tacos, baby. I mean, what would be a team that needs a long, lengthy, rangy type of defensive end that we can say, hey, we dangle this carrot in front of you, maybe for a second or third round draft pick, especially if it's a late second round draft pick. We don't need Randy and Taco. This is from Leroy. Yeah. So we got to figure out something with this. Yes, indeed, Incognito. He says that everybody's well behaved. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you. But still, you know, whenever you feel the need, man, I really appreciate you for tuning in, Incognito. Hey, it's going on 2 o'clock where I'm at. When I do this thing, it'd be like all types of different times, and whenever I go live, I always have Incognito. He jumps in and he helps out tremendously. Miss Jackie, a whole bunch of people, man. I really appreciate it. Kenneth Lott said, how you doing, Incognito, on the Periscope? So he knows you on the Periscope. Shout out to you, though, Kenneth Lott and Incognito. John Wick, what's good, man? Law, what do we have to do to beat the Saints? Okay, now you're asking me some football questions. That's a good question, man. We have to pray, man. I was playing. We have to jump out on them, and we can't go score for score, blow for blow. We can't play that game. We have to have them to play our game or try to play our game, and that's preserving the ball, TOP, time of possession. But we have to capitalize. You cannot play conservative against the Saints. You cannot get down there to the 40 and play field goal. They can score like this, and then on top of that, they will embarrass you. They got a team that's similar to their Super Bowl run. The defense is not like this stout, crazy defense, believe it or not, but they got playmakers. They got guys. I saw them pop Julio, made him fumble the ball, and they jump out, they catch interceptions. They are a team that figured things out, whether it be turnovers and they take advantages. The guys, when the ball hit their hands, somehow it sticks. It does not bounce around. So on that, when you do that, that Saints team got swag left and right on their team. They get pumped up. They got a linebacker that I kind of like coming out of college. His name is Alonzo. I can't say this man's name. You guys can put his name in the chat box. But he got this long flowy hair coming out of his helmet. I think he played for, man, my memory is shot, but I think he played for Florida. And I did a quick film session on him. I think it was back when he was drafted, what have you, 2 years ago. He's a opportunistic guy. He flies out to the ball. He plays bigger than his size, and he's just an aggressive guy. The Saints, that's their philosophy. You cannot make those small mistakes because they will put 7 points on the board when they get the ball. Yes. We got to figure out a way. So in order to beat the Saints, time of possession, run the ball with Ezekiel Elliott. I think we can tire out their defense, but we have to score early and often. We cannot kick field goals because when they get the ball, regardless, Drew Brees been around long enough he knows the fundamental weakness of the Cowboys cover two. And when I can call it, and I've never played in the National Football League, there's problems. On the cover two scheme defense, The middle of the field is going to be open. Seam routes. The pass that I did the breakdown of, it was Van Der Esch, the interception that he caught last week against the Atlanta Falcons. Drew Brees don't make that mistake. He's going to hit that guy just running wide open down the seam. He's going to figure out a way to slide around and get around into the pocket. That's just how that's just how he rolls, baby. And we can't make those type of mistakes out there with Drew Brees, man. He's got a great feel in the pocket. So our thing is that Drew Brees rarely rolls out of the pocket and go for the run. So if we can create pressure into the inside and squeeze him out, then we're in a better situation. But that ball is coming out. As 1, 2, 3, the ball is out. The ball is out before the receiver even bends off his route. So we saw Byron Jones earlier, I guess yesterday now, since it's already Friday. The receiver caught a few passes on Byron, and it was the little slants and little dig routes and things like that. And what I saw off of that is that they picked up what they saw from previous tape against Byron Jones. They used it against him. So they saw that he was aggressive off his stance, and he loved to play outside technique, and they exploited that. I already know that nobody watched more film than Drew Brees. He's watching Cowboys film right now. Drew Brees is like the Sean Lee of the quarterbacks. He's watching film. He stays in the film room, and then he loves to compete. That's why he's ready to try to at least put up 300 yards against us next week. But what we got to do, and the only way we can minimize that, is us holding on to the ball and keeping him on the sideline. Let that arm get cold. And that's running the ball, getting these first downs. And we should be able to hit those creases. I don't think that the Saints front four is as strong as the Cowboys front. I mean, not the Cowboys. Of course, they're not as strong as ours. But it's not as strong as the team we just previously played, if that makes any sense. Byron is still a dog. Yes, Gracia. Yes, he is still a dog. Pay the man. Triple X, man. What's good, man? So David Irvin is playing next week, right? He should be playing, and we need him to play, and here's why. He's 6'7". Drew Brees is like 5'11". We need all the tall guys with long extra arms to play, even tacos of the world. We need those guys out there. We do. Kill. What's good, man? Shout out to you, man. Salute to you and your whole entire family, man. Daniel Steven, pass D, need to be playing better. Yes, we had Colt McCoy's sacked so many times, but he was able to wiggle out of there. I think that as much as we love Drew Brees collectively, right? I don't think that he can run that fast out of the backfield like Colt. But Drew Brees does. He is athletic in a sense. He can't run. I'm not saying he's a statue back there, but I don't think he's can break those tackles like Colt was doing, you know, shucking things off and continue to run. But Drew, he's going to shuck it off and continue to look down the field and exploit that middle of the seam. Vertical seam routes, slants are weaknesses of cover two. So we're going to have to figure out ways to improve that portion of our defense. Checking out Law, man. This is Incognito. Checking out Law. Your fans are serious about discussing football. Yes, we got this. Good night, man. Yeah, appreciate you, man. Good night, fam. Thank you for tuning in to the nation. Taco don't have the mindset yet. Yeah, that's the only thing I kill. You know, yeah. The thing is with Taco, I think that he's battling an injury somehow, and it's one of those things, man. Team got to get better at turnovers and takeaways. Yes, they got to get better in taking advantages of the situations and opportunity. They do. They do. Can't wait to see Tavon Austin. Yeah, I think Tavon Austin plays this Saints game, but they should just really put him on the snap count. I really think that they shouldn't play him like too much. I think that he got to. We don't want him to pull a hamstring or anything. Those soft tissue issues, right? Daniel Stevens, thank you for making a donation to help grow the nation, man. Thank you for supporting this thing. People like you, man, make this thing grow, man. I really appreciate it. Team is getting it. Silver Time saying the team is getting better at turnovers, yeah, but we got to capitalize off of it. Triple X says, what are your thoughts on Amari Cooper? Did I touch on Amari Cooper all the way? All right, so he had 8 catches for 180 yards, right? I mean, is put this in the chat box. Is Amari Cooper worth a first-round draft pick, right? 8 catches for 180 yards. I do know that he got like the third or the fourth longest Cowboys reception of all time, 90 yards or something like that. Let me know, is Amari Cooper worth a first-round draft pick? And if you're gonna stand on the table, let me know if you was wrong in saying earlier and say, okay, I doubted it. I didn't want that first-round draft pick to be gone. But now the Cowboys have changed my mind. Amari Cooper, we rarely get a guy that's 24 years old, right, that we can see the growth. We got this guy. He's 24 years old. You can at least see him 25 doing this, 26, 27, then 28. You can see this guy doing those type of things. And continue to grow too. So we got a dynamic guy that we can just put our staple piece on there. I like everything about Amari Cooper. I just don't like the number 19. Maybe it can grow on me if he continued to play like he did today or yesterday. Yes, he's a better route runner. DJ Cobbs, yes, what's good, man? I was wrong, but I'm happy that I was wrong. Yes, DJ Cobb, boy. You the man, boy. You the man. DJ. That's my DJ. It's just like I was wrong by LVE. Man. Just like I was wrong by LVE. I will admit it, man. All the way until this man put on his gold jacket, right? I know I'm talking too soon, right? Talking too soon. 24-year-old beast. Just beasting. LVE is a beast. 88 for Cooper. Question mark. I mean, yeah, the NFL did say that like next year he could change out his number. I think that Cooper is just doing a fantastic job now that he's like, he probably like, and then he's just like not a docile guy, because I like the little touchdown celebration, because you really don't get that from him. You really don't see him playing like that in the when he played for the Raiders. All the highlights I watched, I rarely saw him do any type of celebratory dance or something like that. So the brother, he scored a touchdown, and then he kind of shot the jumper, you know. Tucked that elbow in, you know. Might have to do a little film session on there. Got to kick that elbow a little bit in, but he made the shot though, and they didn't give him no flag for using the prop, using the football as a prop, you know. Yes. Cooper looks like Miles Austin running the ball. I mean, it's just something about the 19. He looks so slow out there, but he's fast. He's like deceptive speed, something like that, you know. But it is what it is. LVE is only going to get better from Triple X. Yes, he should get better. Cooper showed a lot of emotions. Like, I like it. I have yet to even, you know, this is what I did. Like after the game or what have you, I did my little finished recap. I cleaned up the kitchen, down a bottle of Hennessy almost, and then I went to sleep. You know, try to watch the Saints and Atlanta Falcons game. Wasn't really into it like that. I went to sleep. Shoot, brother was already full off all the food. Then I woke up and I said, let me just go online and do like a little recap talk right quick, because I had to, you know, put my baby to bed and everything. And I saw Voch Lombardi. He was live like 95. I said, man, whoa, it's late. And I was going to go live, and then I said, man, look, well, let Voch finish his show off, and then once he finished his show, then I'll just jump on and talk to you guys for like 15, 20 minutes about what my recaps and what are my thoughts about the game. And lo and behold, you know, what has been an hour and 5 minutes, you know, me talking to you guys about this Cowboys, and it's nice. Look at this. Look at what I got to the left of me or to the right of me, whatever it is to me. 6-5 Dallas Cowboys, Washington Redskins 6-5, the Eagles 4-6, and the New York Giants 3-7. Don't that look good? Don't that look good? Oh yes, indeed, boy. Yes. Cooper needs to be number 81. Yes, I was streaming. I was like, yes, I hope he picks out number 81. That would have been a better looking number for him. 19 just look kind of like we got nobody out there with 80s, you know, as far as our wide receivers. I'm an old school guy. Terrence Williams, but he's not catching anything. We got all these, look, 17, 11, 19, 14. I'm like, dude, somebody got to get a number 80 number out there. Let me know, guys, if y'all would you rather have an 80s number, or do you like those teen numbers like 13? Nobody would never wear 12 again here. What, the 14s, the 15s? To me personally, I said, man, y'all got to get some high numbers. Yeah, Noah Brown, 85. I like 85, believe it or not, DJ Cobbs. I forgot about Noah Brown. See, that's why he catching. That's why he looked like a good, prominent receiver out there. Number 85, I like that number. 84 is Brown. Who's Brown? Noah Brown is 85. But who's 84? Yeah, I prefer the 80s. Yeah. You see, half of you guys, it must be a new age thing, you know. These guys like these 19s and 18s, and just look weird. KD Canning was 81 and laughing my butt off. Gracia, yes. Cooper should have came up there and said, you know what? I heard that he wanted 89. But, you know, due to NFL rulings that you can't change the number within the middle of the season. And Jarwin was willing to give him 89. But what happened was that the NFL ruling said that a player cannot change his number during the season. It had to be something that's during the offseason. So 19 was available because they cut Bryce Butler. And he just said, okay, well, shoot, give me 19. I still got the 9 from my 89, you know. And I'm a number 1 receiver, so 1-9, you know, I guess that's how you look at it. But I would have been like, look, man, give me 81. That would have been fresh. 81 Cooper jersey, man. That would have been nice on him, man. 84 was Hannah, you know, or even 84. Who's number 84 on our team now? I like 84. DJ Cobb says 10, 11, 13, 14. Yeah, because Tavon Austin is number 10. Cole Beasley is number 11. Michael Gallup, number 13. To me, Michael Gallup shouldn't wear number 13. I don't like number 13 either, but this is growing on me. 14 is Lance Lenore. I would rather for Michael Gallup to wear number 14 if he was going to wear those low numbers versus a 13. I just don't like 13. That's just me. 15, I don't know who's number 15 now. We already know that Allen Hearns is 17, and then Cooper is 19. Appreciate you, DJ Cobbs. He'll be 89 next year, hopefully. Yeah, Gracia, hopefully. Swaim is 87, right? He's number 87. See, we all into the numbers. Jarwin is 89, right? Next year, Jarwin gets 84 and give Cooper 89. That would be nice. That would be nice. I like number 89. 89 is a cool number to me. I'm old school law, so the 80s now. See, I'm old school too, man. Yes, indeed. He rocking the Keyshawn Johnson. You know, Keyshawn Johnson, old number. He kind of, you know, anybody who wears number 19 as of lately, regardless of it, you know, they look kind of weird out there to me because I can't get the Keyshawn Johnson name out of my face, and then I can't. And whenever I see number 19, I'm thinking of Miles Austin, those glorious years of Miles Austin. Hamstrings. All I can think of hamstrings. Then I think of Bryce Butler too. And then on top of that, I like Miles Austin better, believe it or not, when he wore number 14. Miles Austin used to wear number 14. If you're going to go with any of those low numbers, go with a 14 or something like that. I like that 4 across that thing. But it is what it is. 14 is ugly. 13 is fresh. It's from TTG. And you got 88 in your name. But I feel you though. He says 14. The only reason why, look, the 13, the number 13, there's no 13 floor in it. If you go into, you know, a building, there's no level 13 in the elevator suites, right? It's not a 13th floor. So I'm going to have to Google that and find out why. I know you guys might know, but then Odell Beckham wear 13. Not saying he's another guy from another team, but it's just a weird number to me. Weird number. 14, a quarterback number. Ew. Yeah. You're right. Give him 93. That will be illegal. First, last. Yes. Randy Gregory is a beast. Yes, he is a man amongst boys, right? 89 is wild. Boy, we talking about these numbers. Yes, the numbers are lead. Yes. or give Gallup 84. Gallup would look nice in 84. He wore number 84. Michael Gallup wore number 84 for his senior day, I believe. Hey, Law, Tavon Austin or Marquez Goodwin. Who can stay healthy? Because I like Marquez Goodwin. Goodwin. Boy, is fast and elusive. Tavon Austin, he always had these little injury snafus. But I want Tavon Austin to step it back up. Hopefully he can do some things, get down, get things going in the right way. Jello said 13 fits him, to be honest. It's 13 to me on Michael Gallup is growing on me. It's growing on me. But who's going to pick up Terrence Williams' old number, 83? Because that's another number that I like, If they keep Terrence Williams. Terrence Williams might come back and just be like, okay, now I got a primary receiver on the opposite side of me. Maybe I can start eating, but then that takes away from my guy Gallup. And I don't know, man. Let's kick this up then, since we here, right? Will Terrence Williams do a better job than Allen Hurns at this point? Because we used to see at least Terrence Williams get out of bounds, Terrence Williams. But we would at least see like some spurts, some sparks from him, like I think it was the Kansas City Chiefs game last year. Do you think that we will ever see a game like that from Allen Hurns? I like what Allen Hurns doing because Allen Hurns catches the ball with his hands and he catches the ball within traffic. But would we let's raise that little temperature right now? What do you think the Cowboys are doing with Terrence Williams? Will they give him another shot? Let me know. 55, keep it live like 95. Yes, indeed, I kill. Yes, 55, double nickel. I like that number on him. Number 55. If I can go back in time, LVE, it was two numbers. 55 was available. I like that number on him. Or I think 52. Those are the two numbers that I said, okay, maybe LVE could wear number 52. We know Connor Williams wearing number 52, but I like that number. I like 55. Yeah, double nickel. But yeah, do T Will. T Will's a product. Was a Romo product like Laurent Robinson? Yeah, I agree with you on that. Bustillo. Yes. We draft another wide receiver named Cedric Wilson. What do you think? Hey, what is Cedric Wilson number then? If he's on his team, maybe they didn't assign him a number, but I think that he's designated to return or he's something like that. What he's on injury, I think rookie injury reserve or something like that. So next year, I think that next year will be his quote unquote rookie year. I think he's like a red shirt. He wears number 16. All these low numbers. Coop is invested in the Cowboys. Yes. We didn't have a lot of flags. This is from Wavy. We finally got 2 holding calls against the opposition against us, right? It was fantastic. I was sitting there like, yes, they finally threw the flag. They finally blew the whistle on a lot of things. I like that. What we going to do with Mr. Sean Lee? This is Sean Lee last year. I don't see the Cowboys bringing him back. I would do like they did with Kellen Moore. I'd be like, hey, Sean Lee, it seems like you got a great deal out here coaching these guys, putting people in the right place. Have you ever thought about being a coach? We can make you the linebacker coach in training or strategist, something like that, and just give you like one hell of a, how those billionaires, or well, I don't know, billionaire. You guys know how you guys had a grandma that used to give you money from, from your granddad or something. She just balled it up in a little sheet of paper and she'd give it to you while you're at church and say, hey, this is for me, for you, or something like that. I think Jerry Jones need to shake Sean Lee's hand strong, and then when Sean Lee opened his hand up, he need to have some money in there. Or a check, a blank check almost, or a check that he can't refuse and say, hey, I want you to be not my head coach, but I want you to be my coach, linebacker coach, or strategist or something, consultant. savant, defense savant or something like that. And Sean Lee looks at that check and he say, you know what? I appreciate you, Jerry. Yes, I would take that, And that's what needs to be done with Sean Lee. I really don't want to see Sean Lee out there again. I love him. Trust me. I'm with the belief, and I hear Mickey Spagnola saying, wait a minute, what do you mean? Sean Lee always rotated and all this stuff. And anybody who says that they want Sean Lee back out there is foolish to me. And I love Mickey Spagnola. I wouldn't tell him in his face like, man, you're foolish because I don't want to burn bridges or what have you. But it's foolish to me, because here you got Jalen Smith and you got LVE. They learning, they building this chemistry together, right? And one could argue the fact that when you have a guy out there and they learning from each other, Mike linebacker and the weak side, we play so much nickel anyway. And you talking about rotating that out of the situation. It's hard, man, to just say, okay, I'm going to put you in the game and you're going to figure out a flow. No, I want my younger guys like the Jalen Smith and the LVEs of the world to continue to build that chemistry and just learn and develop and soak all that stuff in. Now, will Sean Lee help this team out collectively if he come back and they rotate him in? Yes. But no, I want to keep this chemistry building. Guys, let me know if you guys believe that we should just insert Sean Lee into the mix when he gets back. And let me know how you guys feel about that. Remember, those convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. My only thought with this thing is collectively is that Sean Lee can still ball. Don't get me twisted with that. But I would rather, because the margins are not that far apart. It would be crazy if LVE was just horrible out there. It would be crazy if Jalen Smith was horrible out there. It was like a big noticeable gap when Sean Lee is not out there. But the margins are so close that I think that right now you can preserve Sean Lee and say, hey, I would rather for you to sit back and just still continue to coach up these guys. In the event something catastrophic or something crazy happened to, let me knock on some wood, to Jalen Smith or quote unquote LVE, then we can usher you back. But right now, you can be our coach. Let me know. Linebacker rotation, that's just like what we had earlier, the same issues with the wide receiving core. You guys remember before Amari Cooper was here, we were rotating these wide receivers in and out, interchangeable, in and out, in and out, in and out. And we were talking about, wait a minute, where the poise and the continuity is going to become. Because we have so many things about this wide receiving core in the air now, because you put in a Deontay Thompson, and then you move him out, then you put in a Tavon Austin, then you move him out, then you put in a Terrence Williams, then you move him out, then you put in all this rotation. I said, look, just find you 3 guys and let's just stick with it. And it's working for us. They got Amari Cooper, they got the young guy Michael Gallup, and then still we got too many receivers. But then they inserted a Cole Beasley of the world, right? And then we see sprinkles of Allen Hurns. But first week 1 and week 2, man, they had all 7 guys running out there, in and out, in and out. And then the tight end situation, which is still kind of a little issue right now of putting Rico in. Let's pull Rico out. Let's put Schultz in. Let's put Schultz out. Let's put Jarwin in. Let's put Swaim in. It was just too many. Too many freaking tight ends going in and out. Jameis Olawale saying, look, man, I can really catch it too. I can catch 2 out of the backfield. And Jameis Olawale, I think that we should, look, Rod Smith, I love him to death. We talk to him. But you got to figure out a way. Do I go with my power back? Do I go with my finesse back? Do I go with Ezekiel Elliott? Is Rod Smith is really going to be that guy that's going to be the spell back? Because to me, Rod Smith and Jameis Olawale is the same person, same skill set. So it's really, when you put Ezekiel Elliott, he's just a mixture of all of them because he's just supreme like that, right? When it's time for to have that change of pace back, you really don't have no change of pace back. You got 3, well, none of Rod Smith and Jameis Olawale is not like Ezekiel Elliott. But what I'm saying is the aggressive style tone that they run in at similar times is just no change of pace. I would love for a little scat back to get back there in the field to hit these defenses up by surprise. That's just me. Let me know. Let me know in the chat box. We went from Sean Lee to running backs to linebackers to running backs about this rotational piece. complicated situation. Yes, it is. Sean Lee is a backup for now. This is silver time. Appreciate you for tuning in. My Cowboys family, go out there and follow My Cowboys family. They got tons and tons of comments and shows that they do too. They fantastic. John Campbell, what's up? Depths, experience, leadership, priceless. That's a cool way to put it, John. Who else we have? Leroy Jenkins. What if Sean Lee still wants to play though? Question mark. And sometimes we have to make those hard decisions as coach, and coaching staff got to be able to look at the players in the eyes and say, I understand, but this would benefit the team. This would benefit the team. We got a rookie that's leading almost the lead in tackles. We got a rookie that's find ways to track the ball. He was this close, guys, this close from catching another interception. I don't think that he get close like that if you rotate him. I don't think, put it like this, LVE, if you continue to rotate him, he would have 0 interceptions this year. It's a certain feel of the game that you get to be able to see the field and it becomes slow to you. And everything, you be able to pick up small things and you'll say, okay, they ran this similar route in the first quarter when there was 4 minutes left on the clock. I saw this assignment in the second quarter, and they trying to sneak it back in the fourth quarter. I'm going to jump this route now. You don't get that when you going into the bench, getting off the bench, going into the bench, rotating, and you just don't get it. That, put it like this. The first touchdown, put it like this, and I'm telling you guys because I love you guys, and I look at this film and I don't put myself no higher or no lower than you guys. But that first touchdown could have been avoided. Could have been avoided if you went into your nickel package and you don't have out there Wilson running and trying to chuck the linebacker. I'm trying to chuck the tight end. If LVE was on the Vernon Davis, whatever, number 85, that wouldn't have been a touchdown. No disrespect to this coaching staff, but Wilson just can't cover out in space. He's a good guy that can come around the corner and blitz and get to the edge, but he's not a cover linebacker. But if you rotate him in and out like that, he would never get the feel and the flow of the game because we go so much nickel and we go back to the base so much that he's the odd man out. He's the guy that get caught in between whether or not he's going to cover out in space or crash down inside. And we saw containment being all over sloppy all everywhere. But if you get a guy that's all he does is being out there on the field, he can see that play develop before it happened. Yes, indeed. Wilson is terrible in space. As a sports guru, you are 1,000,000%. Let me see, what game was that? I think Wilson last year did the exact same thing similar when we played against the Chargers last year. Horrible out in space. Now, I love Wilson, don't get me wrong, but horrible out in space. I mean, a blind man can cover better than Wilson. He got a better feel of the ball out there in space. It's just how it goes. So we see how he regressed in a sense, or we see how he struggles when they go in from the nickel package to the base, and he gets out there, and when he's raw like that and he's just not into the game, we see that out of Wilson play. Let me go over here, my Cowboys family. Appreciate you, man. Thank you and all that you do too. I saw a comment that you put down here. It just went away, but I appreciate you, man. Much love to you and the nation as well, my Cowboys family. What do you think about Beasley with his contract, or you let him go in free agency? Beasley, he falls under that category as well. I would rather trade a player 2 years too soon versus 2 years too late. Cole Beasley, it's hard, man, because we fall in love with our players. We got this spotlight on our players, and we sit back and say to ourselves, look, Beasley, we love you. We have strong adulations towards you and your whole entire 80 Stings and your storyline of being undrafted, free agency, and you come in and you He just was Dak Prescott go-to man in 2016. Always was a serviceable wide receiver in 14 and before that time frame as well, when Romo was on the team. But at this point, we going to have to evaluate Cedric Wilson and Noah Brown and those boys. So it's going to be like this, man. It's going to be a hard thing. And they already probably inserting Lance Lenore as the punt return, kickoff return guy as well as Cole Beasley. So the writing is on the wall. But I would rather for the Cowboys to trade Cole Beasley and get something from him versus letting him walk. And I think that they're going to figure out a way to let him walk. They're going to either draft another receiver during the draft next year. We already know he's going to be a little slot guy that can just catch the ball inside with short area quickness. And Cole Beasley going to be like, you guys not going to pay me the money. And it's just one of those things, man. I think that they're going to look at the analytics of things. They're looking at the fact that he's 30, and they're going to give him the axe. It's just how it goes. Chris, what's going on with you, man? Thank you for tuning in. Sports Guru, yes, I wouldn't pay him. That's what he's saying. And that's what I'm trying to say, and I'm trying to keep my look, man. I worked with Cole Beasley, man, a manager and stuff like that. We got some promotion things going on, but I just got to tell you the cold hard truth, man. And shout out to Cole Beasley. He gonna be on the Patriots team next year, or he gonna be on one of those teams like I don't think he might go to the Panthers or somebody. You know, I don't know. He might go to the Saints. I don't know. But I wouldn't. Cole Beasley, he already stated, he lamented the fact on Twitter that he want #1 slot receiver money. But as long as Emmanuel Sanders out there, I think he's free 99 next year. Or I don't think the Broncos got him a deal all souped up. Would you rather have Emmanuel Sanders or would you rather have Cole Beasley? That's just one of those things too. We gotta look at everything. Look, we can't leave. We got to turn over every rock. Player acquisition is 365, right? Trade him to the AFC though. Yes, I agree. I would hate to see Cole Beasley with that with those Eagles colors on. Appreciate you, my Cowboys family. He said, good point. Yes, appreciate you. Money making mall. What's good with you, man? Beasley deserve a chance to walk if he want. Yeah, I mean, he deserve a chance. But football, we got Cowboys Nation. We got to figure out a way to not fall in love with these players. I know Jerry Jones, he naturally falls in love with players. And there's nothing wrong with that, you know. But Sanders by a mile, TTG88. Yes, indeed. Explosive guy in the inside. But this is the thing. Beasley turns it on and off, turns it on and off. And I don't think that there's a DB out there who's willing to cover Beasley without bracket coverage. I think that his short area quickness is nice, but I think that the value of Beasley, you can find other ways. You know, you can find, it's not that margin of like, okay, this guy's just this nice for us, you know. I think you can find other people that can fill in the gaps and do a serviceable job. I think, and this is not me comparing, but the Redskins number 14 guy, they're 14. He can do a serviceable job just like Cole Beasley. There's another guy that played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He wears number 11 as well. He can do a serviceable job like a Cole Beasley at times if he was on the spotlight team versus the team that he played for. I mean, there's ways out there, but slot receivers, the person that's taking away Beasley snaps right now is number 17, Allen Hurns. We see the writing on the wall. Allen Hurns, 6'2.5", you know, catch the ball in traffic, you know, it's just what it is. Cole's one of the most consistent guy on the team, though. Yes, yes, Bubble Berry boy. Cole been consistent, and that's about it. He's consistent. He's consistent. Not always injured. Hold on to the ball. Jump, high point the ball. Always around the ball when it's in time of need. He actually, one can argue the fact he kind of, you know, helped us win the game against the Atlanta Falcons last week and beyond. So trust me, I like what Cole Beasley is doing, but when that price match, where he want to get paid like the top, not middle range. He said he want to get paid like a top slot receiver. Now you have to do the little, you got to do like the little serious look. You're gonna say, I'm willing to pay this much money for Cole Beasley. Is Beasley worth the money? Let me know in the chat box. Is he worth the pennies? We need a slot receiver with a higher ceiling. Yes, Gallup in the slot is hell no. I don't know, Wavy. I would like to see Gallup in the slot running some routes inside. I think Gallup still hear footsteps when he get there. When somebody coming across that middle, I think Gallup does hear the footsteps. I think Noah Brown is a guy that can catch the ball in traffic, as well as Sam Hurd. I mean, not Sam Hurd. Damn, I'm going all the way back. I meant to say Allen Hurns. He can catch the ball within traffic and hold on to the ball. Who else a free agency from Dallas? I don't know, Jello. Somebody's got to put that down. Hurns in the slot, yeah. Cooper probably nasty in the slot. Cooper can get Cowboys have yet to put him in the slot, though. They motioned him several times, but it was just more of a decoy. If he caught a pass and slot, I could be wrong. I have to go back and look at things. But they play him primarily as the X-receiver, and he doing a good job because of the coveraging. I mean, people going to roll his way. He does demand the you heard me say, Jello? He said Sam Hurd. He laughing over here. Yes, indeed, man. Yes, indeed, man. Who else we got here, man? All right. Gallup biggest issues is concentration. I mean, I think that, yeah, we're going to give him a pass for this week, though, right? We got to give him a pass for this week. But I think that Gallup, he's still a rookie. And next year, he's going to be just nasty. Nasty, boy. When you start matching up some route combinations and things like that, it just get crazy for him. Yes, indeed. Can we beat the Saints? This is Jacob Howard. Yes, it's possible. Yeah, it's possible. Jacob, we talked about that earlier, man. Yes, we can beat those Saints. We just got to score early and often, and we got to take advantages of our situations. When the ball touches our DB's hand, we got to come away with it. Game-wise, what's good? Wait a few more games. You will change your mind. We need Cole Beasley. Hey, look, game-wise, I don't know what time you came in on this conversation. I'm saying that we need Cole Beasley. Yeah, I want Cole Beasley on this team, but I don't want to pay him like the top slot receiver in the NFL. I'm just saying that. Cole Beasley is nice. Shoo, the boy can catch. I'm going to see. If somebody can do this big favor for me, and I know you guys got access to Google if you are able to, if you want to. You don't have to if you don't want to. But type in the salary or the demand of a number one slot receiver, the highest paid slot receiver in the NFL. Look, would you rather have Deshaun Jackson or Cole Beasley? I think he's a free agent. Let me know. Put that in the chat box. How much money the number one slot receiver is getting paid in the National Football League, and come back and put that in the chat box for me if you want to. Are you willing to pay Beasley that type of cachet? If you're willing to reach in your pocket for the Cowboys Nation and pay Beasley that money, then hey, it is what it is at his age and at his time. $9 million a year, okay. $9 million. So what would be the years? Because I don't think you can sign a Cole Beasley to a 1 year, $9 million deal. Let me know. It's going to have to be probably a 3 year with some guarantee. Golden Tate would have been great in the slot. I don't know, man. I don't know. We had to give up too much asset for Golden Tate, and then as well as we moved some assets for Amari Cooper. Why not, man? He's only the one showing you before Amari. $5 million for 4 years. Okay. So that put him at 33, 34. I mean, 33 years old, 34. I don't know, man. I don't know. Y'all put that down in the chat box. Let me know. Jackson doesn't go over the middle. Yo, he just run deep routes because he's soft. TTG88. He says that Deshaun Jackson is soft. Probably so. Old school mentality. 6 years, $6 million a year for 2 years. Okay. So I can see that. The only way I can see that if we decide to keep Cole Beasley, and we're gonna have to part ways with some of these wide receivers like the Cedric Wilsons of the world, the Lance Lenores, Noah Brown. We have to really have some real conversations with those guys. Sam Hurd, Alan Hearns. You're gonna have to part ways with Alan because I don't think that he'll come back because this is his last year, right? He only signed a 1 year. Amari Cooper, you got to pay Amari Cooper. So on the books, you're going to pay anywhere north of $15 million for Amari Cooper, right? That's $15 million of asset. I think that you're going to get rid of T. Will. You walk away from T. Will, so you line up for next year. And we talking next year football, believe it or not. And we in playoff hunt, right? But this is how the conversation is steered from the chat box. I love to do this. You guys, this is your show, and this is just me just sitting back talking. If we do that, that's a hard, tough pill to swallow, man. But the only way I can see that, because you're going to let Tavion Austin walk, basically, probably. My only thing is, you would do this. Maybe you'll work out a contract with Cole Beasley like you did with Jason Witten. Whereas it could be, like you said, 2 years, $6 million for 2 years. Or would that be $12 million, for 2 years? And say, hey, man, we love you, man. SMU, we want you to be a Cowboys for life. I can see that. I can see that. I can see that. We can see that, guys. They can figure out a way to keep Cole Beasley. But we're going to see what the staff is going to do, whether or not, they're going to go old or young. Lance Lenore for slot. He's slow and he's long on long runs, but quick in the slot. Short area quickness. Yes, you're right, Ahmad. Leroy Jenkins. Go and sign Earl for cheap. Earl should be able to walk on the team for cheap, If he really want to play for the Cowboys, if he really loved the star, then he give us a discount. If he really loves the star. But how about that interception that Xavier Woods got, earlier? How y'all like that? The ball bounced on Cheeto Awuzie's hands twice. Cheeto could have had 2 interceptions. And then on top of that, that last game, if he turned his head around to the ball when Julio snatched the ball and scored a touchdown, Cheeto could be right now, have at least just from these last 2 games, had 3 interceptions. The one in the end zone, I'm talking about the ball bouncing off his hand. Shout out to Awuzie. Shout out to him. He said he part of the notification squad. But the ball bounces off his hands at that time. And then on top of that, what was the other deal? The ball, when he kind of shoved the guy, the coach got mad. But he was still able to get his hands on the ball, it bounced off his hands. And Xavier Woods was able to catch the ball. It was crazy. Paul Hernandez said James Harden. No, I'm not James Harden. But what's up? Happy Thanksgiving to you as well, Chayo Pong Chayo. Appreciate you. Cheeto and Byron can't catch. It's just so annoying. This is from TTG. Buddy, man, the ball be hitting them on the hand, man. It's just crazy, huh? It's crazy, boy. It's crazy. I don't know what you pay. I don't know how you will pay Byram. I don't know how you pay Byram. It's just going to be another conundrum too, Ricardo or Diaz. What's good with you, fam? We up burning the midnight oil, going on 3 o'clock. We're gonna try to roll all the way to 3 o'clock. How about that? I'm Central Standard Time. And we're going to try to roll with this thing all the way to 3 o'clock. But ain't nobody hating, though. You can't hate on them, though, I'll pay Byron. I would hate for Byron to go to another team. I kill Emmy. What's good, man? Shout out to you. If we would have got Earl when we're supposed to, we'll be like 8-3. This is from Nate Neals. Game wise, say he still hate Anthony Brown. Hey man, I look. Yeah, that's the fool's gold that we see with Anthony Brown because it was a backup quarterback. He threw the ball, kind of lobbed it to Anthony Brown. The sack off the edge was something that the quarterback, it was a backup quarterback as well. So it could be fool's gold. But if Anthony Brown do this again next week, I'm talking about an interception and a fumble. Well, an interception will get a fumble too. And a sack against Drew Brees. Now we talking. Now we talking. Jeff Heath or Earl. On the short end, I would say Earl. But on the long end, I would say Jeff Heath. But how about both? I don't think you have to get rid of one to have the other, Robert. But I really appreciate you for commenting that on the short end because Earl is, on the, he got, Earl is a little older, jack of all trades. Yeah. Does anybody in the NFC East have a chance at the Super Bowl? I'm glad you mentioned that, Flores. Josh, this is the thing. Let me ask you this. In 2007, did the NFC East, were there any team that had a chance to win a Super Bowl out of the NFC East? Or was it 2011? And I do know that those crazy Giants won those 2 Super Bowls. But it's all about getting to the dance. And once you get into the playoff, a lot of crazy things can happen. My thing is, when you get into the playoff, what we need to happen with this Cowboys team, this young Cowboys team, is to get in through wild card and not have that first week bye. I'm talking about continue to play. We need to win the last game of the season as well. I don't like losing the game and then going to the playoff and thinking we're going to turn this thing around. There's something about getting hot. That's why next week, believe it or not, and I hate to say this, if let's say we lose next week, let's just say this, let's put this out there. Banter, shout out to you. Thank you for tuning in. Breeze won't throw interceptions. Yeah, so Breeze is a natural thrower of the ball. Just know how to put the money on the ball, put the ball on the money, however you want to call it. Let's say we lose next week and we win out. We go 10-6 like I predicted. I predicted that we go 10-6, but I wanna prove myself wrong. I want us to go 11-5. That means we winning out, right? And then somebody put down 15-5, threw me off the other day. And I would take that too. But if we can figure out a way to get hot going into the playoff, the skies is the limit, man. I mean, we can make some things happen, and it could just be me homering this thing up, but it is possible when you get into the playoffs. Some weird things. Sometimes the ball bounces your way. The defense goes from a level 5 to a level 10. Or from top 5 defense to top 1. All of a sudden, everything is compressed, and what we have to have, we have to have Ezekiel Elliott raise it up a level. We have to have the Amari Coopers of the world raise it up a level. The Cole Beasleys of the world raise it up. And maybe a Rico gathers emergence, come out somewhere. And all we have to do, there's a weird record out there. I think somebody posted it earlier, like 24-3 or 24-4, when Dak Prescott got 0 interceptions or 0 turnovers. If Dak Prescott can play a sound game, remember all offseason I said all we want Dak Prescott to do anyhow is just drop this bus, drive the bus. That's all we want Dak Prescott to do. Just drive this bus left and right, and just don't make the mistakes. We can turn things around to our favor, and it's quite possible that if when we get into that dance, we can fool around, hit a few moves, and then she say, you know what? I want to go out with you today, And then she likes what we doing, and then she said, I want to go out with you again. That's making it to the big dance. But you got to cut the rug. You can't just sit back on the wall. You can have the prettiest girl on the dance floor. You'll never know if you never get a chance, if you don't get the chance to get out there and ask her. So this is the thing. If we can get out there to the dance, and we see the pretty lady on the dance floor, we got to be able to be smooth enough and have the confidence to walk up to that pretty lady and say, hey, baby, may I have this dance? Or you could be dancing just in a fashion where she sees you and she comes to you and she approaches you, you know, and that's a good thing when she approaches you and she say, "Can she have this dance?" You know, then she plays the role reversal, you know. but we got to get there first. In order for any of those scenarios to happen, we got to at least get to the party to dance. So when we get into that building, Cowboys Nation, those who out there who've been following the team, we can't sit on the bench. We can't sit back in the balcony. We got to go out there and make things happen. There's 3 types of people in this world, and I always say this. You guys can write it down, and you guys probably know some people. You heard me? There's 3 types of people in this world. People, they go out there and watch things happen. They just go out there watching things happen. A person, they go out there and make things happen. They going out there, the shakers, the movers of the world. And another person, these are the only 3 people that's out there. They say, what the hell just happened? Now, Cowboys Nation, we got to be that person or that team to go out there and make things happen. We got to go out there and hit the fire. We can't just sit back and fold up like lawn chairs. No. And like those weak tents. No, we got to go out there and make things happen. Those who out there who have strong jobs and strong abilities to be a leader of a team or sports or what have you, be the person that go out there and make things happen. Don't just be the person that's going out there and watching and looking and saying, "Oh man, that's so good what that boy is doing over there," or "That's so good what she's doing over there." No. And don't be that fool that's sitting out there and say, "Man, what the hell just happened?" Don't be that person. You got to be the person that go out there and make things happen. It is possible. Just like out there in the dance floor. You see that beautiful lady. You see that beautiful lady out there. She's by herself. Or you see a friend. The friend is hating and all this stuff. You got to figure out how to get past the friend to get to what you want. You got to be smooth enough. And you definitely would never make it happen just watching. Unless you just cool with it, you know. You just sit back and you got to be all decked out and nice, you know. You got to have everything going for you. And that's slim chances right there. And you got to be able to get out there. You got to go out there and make it happen. Yes, I'm a Rico Gathers fan. This is from Savage Time. Yes, he got to go out there and make it happen. That's just the bottom line. When the ball hit his hand, you got to take it in. And then on top of that, the playbook, I don't know where he is on the playbook. I just hear things. And they saying that he's still picking up the playbook. So player recognition is something that he got to really pick it up. And that's something that he must learn down the line. Hopefully he can just be ready for it like next year. I still believe in Rico. I think that it's hard to teach and coach and develop 6'7", 6'8" frame on your own. Only one person can give you that, you know, and no man can give you that, right? So Rico got that stuff that's in him that only God put there, you know. So hopefully they can figure out a way to utilize Rico, right? Yes. Clock tick, 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 tick. We got 5 minutes, man. Let's get this thing going. Put down where you guys are from. Put down how long you following this team. Put down what you feel the Saints score is going to be. Put down whether you think we're going to go 10-6 or whether you think we're going to go 11-5. Put that down. Let's go. Robert Gonzalez, appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in to the nation. Jello, 7788. Yes. What we got? 24-21. Dallas. Leroy Jenkins. He's not scared of it. That's what I'm talking about. Leroy Jenkins said T.O.P. That's what I'm talking about. It's going to be 160 yards rushing. I think Ezekiel Elliott can get 150 plus yards against the Saints. I really do. Inside game too. That's going to be something that I think Zeke will be able to do. And I like that. Top, T-O-P. Guys know what top is. Time of possession. Yes. Should we sit number 45 for the practice squad guy? I don't know, man. If he's injured, then yeah, you got to figure out something. Injury settlement, put him on some. Los Angeles, 25 years. That's what I'm talking about. Banks, 411. Info. Yes. Make Chris Richard the head coach. Go out there and get rid of Jason Garrett. Cali, 35 years strong. Silver and blue. Yes, that's for my guy. Hung. KO. Man, appreciate you for tuning in to the nation. Let's get this thing going. Yes, Albuquerque, New Mexico, man. What's going on with y'all, man? Yes, let's get this thing going. Yes. Let me start it all the way from the beginning. You know how I get. Grandiose type of stuff, you know what I mean? Yes. Hawaii in this mix, man. 16 million, probably. Toledo, what's good with you, man? Nah, scratch that. 106-7. Cowboys win. Man, if that happened, man, I will buy you beer whenever I see you, man. 28-21. Cowboys. This is from J-Lo. Yes. Thought. Edmond, AB, Canada, man. Shout out to you. All the way across the border there, man. Appreciate you. Up north and stuff. Hawaii. What's up, Andrew? Shout out to you, Paul Hernandez. 38. 20, Dallas 17. Saints win 38. Hey, and you know what? That won't be that bad. Saints score 38. We score 17. We realize that, okay, revenge is mine, that type of thing. We see them in the playoff type of groove. I can live with that. I can roll with that. I can be with that. Yes, New Jersey in this mix, man. Oh, man, so it got to be already 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, wherever you at, man. Good Lord. Dallas, Texas. Yeah, Savage Time. ATX, man. What's good? I Kill. What's good? Arizona in here, man. Yes. Sounds good for me. Yes. Leroy Jenkins. I'm near Pittsburgh. Yes. 27-23. Dallas win. Yes. Guy with the face. The face. Yes. Man, you were one of the first person in the chat box, man. Salute to you, fam. 817. Good morning, bro. Appreciate you, man. Baltimore in this house, man. Baltimore. Shout out to you, man. Cole might retire. Yeah, he did say that before I killed, yes. Robert Gonzalez, 7-8, 7-2-3. Banter, winning. Yes. All right, guys. It's 4 a.m. here. Virginia finest. Early in the morning, waking up like, I know you got them Black Fridays deals already in the lot. Save some for me, right? Killeen, Texas. 8 years, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Tokyo, Texas in this thing. This thing's gonna burn out soon. Yes, Don John. Yes, let's go, Cowboy Nation, one way or another. That's all the time I have for this beautiful morning. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I got this thing going. Cowboys Nation, one way or another. Let's get this W. Let's get into the playoff. Let's get to the dance. Let's not be afraid of the girl. Let's ask her for some moves. Let's get up to her. Let's go talk to her. Yes. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the bass. Salute. I'm out. Peace. Yes, let's go, baby. Marathon law, baby. Let's roll out with this thing. Marathon style, baby. Wiley, Texas, what's up, baby?